Yo, what's up guys? Let's check out the brand new buffs and the nerfs to the Sorceress class. The real question is Ball Lightning going to be viable? Well, it's got some insane nerfs. Alright, starting right off, what's going to be the thing that we get that's brand new, that's getting massive buffs? That is Meteor. Meteor is getting massively buffed as well as conjuration skills with a Paragon node. So starting right off, Starfall Corona is going to be one of the things that I think a lot of people are interested in trying out. So this will require helmet slot, so if you're interested in like Harlequin Crest, which is so godly on the Sorceress because it gives you so much in terms of like utility, right? Because you don't have to put in skill points on things. So it's a brand new item, Starfall Corona. It's a helmet slot that gives you over here. Let me go ahead and bust it out. So Starfall Corona is a helmet. For some reason, it doesn't like show everything, even if I mouse over it. But anyways, it gives you life, cooldown reduction, ranks to your Meteor, and lucky hit chance, and then it has this special ability. The special ability is Meteor now has 2 charges and 11 to 6 second charge cooldown instead of a mana cost, and drops 3 additional meteors around the target. Meteor's enhancement effect and enhanced meteor drop 1 additional meteor. So that's massive, because the fact that you get an additional meteor off of that is really good, and it's so perfect that it drops 3 additional meteors. And the reason why 3 additional meteors is so dang good is because if we go to the skill Meteor, which unfortunately is not a core skill, I really wish it was, but Meteor on the enhanced meteor has ability. If a casted meteor hits 3 or more, there's a chance that another one falls. So if you use the aspect of Shattered Stars, that should not be able to proc another one, because it says if a cast of it, which probably means self-casted, not a bonus. But that's pretty nice. You get an additional meteor on that, so pretty cool stuff indeed. And then there's also a newer change to the Ice Blades. So Ice Blades is getting a buff on the aspect of Shredding Blade, which is an offensive aspect. And it makes it so Ice Blade's chance to apply vulnerable is getting increased by 20%, and the vulnerable duration is increased by 4 seconds, and then we gain some extra damage. Sorceress already has kind of a problem with applying vulnerability, so this is going to be nice. There's also a change to Lightning Spear to have it so crit strikes apply vulnerability, and because you don't have to run the Firebolt enhancement as one of your things on Sorceress, because everyone almost always applies this one over here, where it just applies burn, right? So you can actually maybe get vulnerability in another way, because you can just run the Lightning Spear enhancement, which procs off of picking up crackling energy. There's like a chance, but I know I'm kind of getting ahead of myself over here, but I figured I'd mention it because it is kind of correlated to the vulnerability, because otherwise it's just Frost Nova. If you played Sorceress, that's like the only way you get to play vulnerability, because Exploit on the Paragon board doesn't give you the same effect on like a Rogue or some of the other classes in the game. So as far as this goes, if you're playing a conjuration build, which is getting buffed because on the Paragon board, we'll talk about that in a second. But as far as like this goes, like there's so many things for Sorcerers where you get like X additional damage. I'm not worried about that. There's like bonus damage when you have like a barrier, and there's several variants. There's like 2 variants of basically the same thing. But nonetheless, it is a buff, but I don't know if it's going to matter that much at the end of the day, unless we see some crazy bugs. So skills, Ball Lightning, how bad is it, man? How bad is the nerf on this? This is what everyone wants to know. Enhanced Ball Lightning has a chance to have its attack, or a change to have its attack rate increase with attack speed up to 25. You want to know what it was before? Maxwell still has the old values. 200%. So we go from 200 to 25. That's a pretty big change, right? That is a massive, massive change as far as like its liability. Also, since we lost out on Seperate Power to get the increased attack speed, yeah, that's not looking too good, unfortunately, for Ball Lightning Sorceresses. Now, is it still going to be viable? Probably. It's still probably going to be a strong build to play, but it's not going to be so good that it just dunks on everything to the point where, like, if you're not playing Ball Lightning Sorceress, you weren't playing Diablo last season, right? So, on top of that, they made a change with the Mage's Blizzard. So, before, if you wanted it to last, like, I think it was like 4 additional seconds, you had to have over 50 minutes. They removed it. Like, it really doesn't matter. Lightning Spear, the crit strikes now apply vulnerability, and you can run that as one of your enhancement slots if you are playing a build that can generate crackling energy. Unfortunately, Esadores did not get a buff, and I desperately thought that it needed it. I even mentioned it as far as Diablo partner. No love for that, but we do have the mid-season update, and I'm just so surprised. They could have easily just like quadrupled the damage, and it would still probably be bad. We need like a 10x multiplier on that thing, like 10 times the damage. They needed to do what Barbarian got with Charge, because that was like a unique build. Anyways, yeah, unfortunately, it's not here yet. Anyways, Paragon, Searing Heat. So they fixed an issue where the crit strike bonus wasn't even applying. I mean, we're in season 3 and we still have things not working in the Paragon board. But hey, at the end of the day, they're fixing it. The crit strike chance bonus has been increased from 10. You get 2 more crit. Let's go. I don't think it's gonna matter that much, but I mean, this is good. Next up, Elemental Summoner. Conjuration damage bonus got increased almost double from X3 to X5. I was hyping up a Hydra build last season because burn damage, and on this thing, it seemed really good. But again, last season, if you weren't playing Ball Lightning, you weren't playing Sorceress, right? So this could be something to look at, some sort of Hydra variant, because Hydra can do burn damage, and since you don't actually have to apply burn damage, because Hydra can apply burn for you, so you still have all the good stuff with the burn damage bonuses. Burning Instinct makes it so the amount of int that's required actually got reduced. This is a buff. So it used to be 75, now it's 25. So you get triple the amount. And I was checking out, like, well, what's the max? Because usually a lot of these max, like Frigid Fate and like all these other things on Sorceress, it's like you can get up to like 25, 30, maybe a little bit more than that. It's no cap. I'm like, okay, well, then I could become an int stacker, and now I'm actually kind of interested in playing this. So if you're interested in playing Sorceress, this could be something to consider because you can get a massive amount of extra burning damage. You get basically, instead of getting, let's say, 1%, you'd be now getting 3%. So again, that's going to add up. Next up, offensive aspect of the Shattered Stars. If you guys don't know what this does, this makes it so it's an aspect basically for Meteor. So you get these small little meteorites, and they would deal tickle damage when you level, towards the end game World Tier 4. If you're like in World Tier 1, it was hitting for good damage. A lot of these things in Diablo legit feel untested, and like they do 0 damage in the end game. Like if you have a little like rain of arrows that comes down, or any class that has this little bonus damage, it felt like it was just like a joke, right? When you were level 100 or in the end game. So now it's just going to deal a percent amount of your damage. Now, if you get multiple and you, like, let's say, immobilize the enemy, because this is like a thing that you kind of need for Meteor because it takes a while for it to actually land, you'd normally get like this over here. Well, you're going to have to get this. And then you can either get the immobilize, or you can get the thing that makes it fall faster. So that's going to be a nice change. And then if you are able to maybe get one of the passives that makes so fire has a chance to like immobilize, then you can maybe get overlaps and get like basically double damage. If you get like triple meteors and they do overlap, and if it does register like that, and you get lucky, this could be an insanely strong aspect. I mean, Meteor is probably going to be one of the fan favorite builds for Sorcerers for sure. And then Staff of Lee Masson, it was okay if you guys played it last season. Obviously, Ball Lightning just kind of destroyed everything. I didn't really like how it felt. It uses a two-hander, and it's required, and it's basically using it 2 aspects just to have this charge bolt, and then you have to run another aspect for a charge bolt. I didn't like it. It just wasn't my taste, and I don't think that this change is going to make it like S tier or the best build. I think it's basically going to be more likely Meteor's going to be the route to go for most players. Then Iceheart Braos got a buff. I mean, you could make this thing 100%, and I would think it's fun, but is it going to be better than Bolts? Hell no. So what it does is they buff the chance from 11 to 20 to 21 to 30%. So a nice little like 50% in terms of min-max, the chance to apply the Frost Nova. But because it's not consistent, and you have to like freeze the enemies and then it dies. So basically, if you kill something, it's cool. Like that means if you're doing bosses or any of the like new areas, you may not be able to proc it consistently. And so I didn't really like it that much for those reasons. So as far as Sorceress goes, I'm curious to know what your guys' thoughts are on Sorceress. What do you plan to play? For me, I always like to play newer things, and so I'm going to be looking at Meteor as well as Hydra, but I'm probably not going to be starting off with the Sorceress because I never like the response rate of like Meteor, because it does take time to come down, even with increased. Like you compare that to the fast ball line, you just spam it and you just like walking simulator, right? Completely different ballpark. But that's what it looks like for Sorceress. Basically, you play Meteor or maybe some sort of Conjuration burn build. Could be something to consider. But that's going to wrap it up. Let me know your thoughts on Sorceress. And if you plan to play it, what build are you going to be running? If it is not Meteor, I don't know what you plan to play, because I'm genuinely curious. Maybe Ball Lightning will still be on top. Like, that thing, it still hit for an insane amount of damage. Anyways, that's going to wrap it up. If you guys enjoyed the video, drop a like. If you're new, subscribe, turn the bell if you guys want to see more Diablo and gaming content. Peace out.